Preventing the introduction of disease onto a production site is critical. This lesson covers a basic introduction to biosecurity. Animal caretakers and other employees play a critical role in preventing the introduction of disease onto a production site. Therefore, these individuals need to understand what biosecurity is and why biosecurity protocols need to be followed. By learning the methods of disease spread, individuals will gain an understanding of why it is so important to always follow the biosecurity protocols. Learning the role of the perimeter buffer area and how to respect the line of separation will help reduce the risk of exposing the pigs to diseases. First, it is helpful to understand what biosecurity is. Biosecurity involves a series of management practices designed to prevent the introduction and spread or transmission of diseases onto or off of a farm. Following biosecurity measures when properly implemented will help reduce the risk of disease spread during everyday activities, including the movement of animals, people, equipment, and other materials. Many diseases can be shed through bodily fluids, like saliva or breath, urine and manure, and semen. Some diseases can also be shed in milk or through biting insects such as ticks. Diseases can spread between an infected animal to an uninfected animal. Therefore, it is important to test animals for diseases to make sure infected animals are not moved to a negative site. This is especially important during a foot and mouth disease, classical swine fever, or African swine fever outbreak. After being shed from the body, the diseases can spread on equipment, people's clothing or footwear, and supplies within the site or between farms. The objects capable of spreading diseases are called fomites. Fomites such as equipment, tools, clothing, or boots, or vehicles and trailers can carry diseases from one animal to another and from one farm to another. Cleaning, disinfecting, and drying fomites will help reduce the risk of a fomite spreading diseases. Diseases can also be spread by insects and rodents. Many different control measures are available to limit the spread of disease by insects and rodents. Diseases may also be spread in human food. For example, in Europe, classical swine fever was believed to be spread in a ham sandwich being consumed by a visitor. A pig was fed part of the sandwich. Human food should not be carried into animal areas. Another way to reduce disease spread is to set up the perimeter buffer area, or PBA, around the barns. The perimeter buffer area, or PBA, acts as an outer control boundary set up around the perimeter of the buildings to limit access of the outside world to close contact with the animals. It may be an actual barrier, such as a fence, or it may be marked by other natural boundaries, such as a road, driveway, field, or other markings. In this example, the perimeter buffer area is a blue-green color. The line of separation, or LOS, is established to isolate pigs from possible sources of infection. For animals raised indoors, the walls of the building make up the LOS. In this graphic, the LOS is the red line. Respecting the LOS will reduce the chances of a disease infecting the pigs on site. No animals, people, or fomites should cross to the pig side of the LOS without following biosecure entry protocols. The biosecurity measures which need to be followed when entering the PBA or crossing the LOS are discussed in their respective lessons included in the biosecurity training. Thank you for watching this Introduction to Biosecurity lesson. Please proceed to the other biosecurity lessons to continue with biosecurity training. The Secure Pork Supply Plan was funded by USDA and the Pork Checkoff. This video was written and produced by the Center for Food Security and Public Health at Iowa State University College of Veterinary Medicine.